Hello, this is GeneralJokerr here, and today's video we're going to talk about a story, and this story is the day I actually started talking English in public. Before this day, I was afraid to talk English because I was humiliated in school. I was told I never should talk English because I sounded that terrible in talking English and couldn't make any point across, my teacher said. This day started for about 5 years ago when I was on my way to school. Um, I I was sitting in the local town, bigger town, close to where I live in Norway. I was in kind of hurry, but some British tourists um, uh, walked up to me and asked me for direction to some place. I gave them the direction. I don't remember where I didn't give them directions to because it's 5 years ago, but I really kindly today remember the conversation that followed when they asked me why I was in such a hurry, and I answered, I am I am on my way to school. And the conversation as follows was that they asked me why I wasn't going on at school in my home country. And you are from Britain, right? And I'm just, no, I'm Norwegian. And they're just, how? You sound like a British person. And I'm just, thank you. You're the first one that actually has commented that I talk great English. My teacher says I talk so horrible. I should never even try to utter an English sentence again. And that day when I went to the school, I was. My teacher started as always, Knut, you should never talk English. Knut is my actual name. GeneralJokerr is my online name, but you should never talk English again, Joker. And I answered back, I will never stop talking English. It will be like to crystal my country. And my teacher is, it's not an English word. And I'm just, yes, it's in the dictionary and it's a word for treason. It's the history behind the word crystal your country. I'm not quite sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but it is after the Norwegian Prime Minister Vidun Quisling, and it's why it's treason because it was the Prime Minister of the Nazi government of Norway under the Nazi occupation back then. And since that day, I have talked in English, and this is maybe a short story, but it is more in this story and then this. It's a follow up a few years later. I was at school. It was my last year at school. It was after the school really had stopped for the summer, but I was asked to come to a special event at the school because they had invited a lot of important scientist folk, people inside the field of some psychologic field inside psychology, 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 and I ended up thinking yes because I actually was getting paid for that extra day at school, and I thought, why the heck I need the money? So I was just okay, and that day I remember because I had to fucking remove water from the pavement with vacuum cleaner. It was raining as heck, so it was no point really, but we did it. And those important people from around the world showed up for the kind of, let's just say it was kind of a meeting, kind of big meeting. It was around 200, maybe 150 people in that room. I ended up being seated in a group with a British scientist, or psychologic, some kind of doctor degree of it. We was talking English, and I was talking English. But the important part of this history is kind of the headmaster of the school didn't talk good English at all. She couldn't even say hello right on English. So she is standing in front of a place where she has to talk English, and she's almost start crying because she is afraid. So I end up having to welcome them to the school and talk English. After this, after the day went on without a hitch, and the important people had left that was invited had left. She started crying over my shoulder because she was just, I couldn't even talk English, and I'm just, yeah, you are too afraid to fuck up. Why aren't you afraid? I am not afraid, because the worst thing that can happen is people don't understand me or people laugh at me, and I do not care about that anymore. I'm I'm me. I'm being me to the fullest. And it's a story time video. Told you about those stories that was in front of English, but in more generally speaking terms, I'm not good at writing English, but I can talk English. Frankly, I can make myself kind of understand in English. I know I have some grammatical errors, but it's because I'm translating from Norwegian to English, and Norwegian is in the German linguistic group, and English is kind of in the Latin language group with Latin. So it gets some errors when you translate those between each other. And another big problem with English in Norway is, in school in Norway, the 1 hour you have to talk kind of British English. Next hour you are expected to switch over to American English, and sometimes kind of Australian, or a mix between British and American. Kind of hard to make yourself understand when you have to learn two or three versions of English with some differentiations in word, instead of just concentration on either English, also British English or American English, because it's a whole mess. It's a whole mess, really. Did I learn to talk English in school? No, I'm self-learned in English. I have learned by playing video games, watching documentaries on Second World War, and other things I was interested about learning. And since I'm self-learned in English, it's kind of hard for me. I could some English at school, but what was the point of trying to talk English in school when the whole fucking school was laughing at you for talking English, when you just could do it at home in front of my computer doing things I most likely wanted to do. And I would never have seen me for about 5 or 6, 7 years ago, even sitting here recording YouTube videos. Even though I tried to make some YouTube videos back then, reason for it was I was afraid to talk. I was afraid to even go outside my door, or even go to school, because of bullies and stuff like that. Has it made me to a stronger person? Yes. Is bullying bad? Yes. Indeed it is. Is violence bad? Of course, violence is always going to be the worst options you can take to solve a situation. But technically talking, English, as I think about English, it's a little bit complicated for Norwegians to learn English. It's why we have a word in Norway. It's called Svelvik Engelsk, and it's Svelvik English is kind of a bad version of English mixed with Norwegian word and pronunciations, and known people that talks a kind of what we in Norway call Svelvik English is Petter Sundberg, also Petter Solberg, and Jens Stoltenberg, and a lot of other Norwegian politicians when they are standing on stage and is going to talk to the English-speaking world. They kind of sound like a mixed hybrid between Norwegian and English. Quite right. It's funny wording. It's funny wording, and it's funny to listen to. One of the best quotes from Petter Sundberg is, "It's not the crash that kills; it is the smell." And what what makes that funny is that smell in Norwegian is kind of uh, the force of something hitting. We kind of say, "Oh damn, där smalt det högt," and in English it is smell as actually smelling something. It's it's what's making it funny. For all way comparisons, is history of talking good English in Norway is like a lawnmower mowing the grass for itself. I know it has coming automatic, but think about an automatic lawnmower back in 1945. It would not be possible. Yeah, it should be possible, but not as safe as today. And when it comes to actually English, it's kind of funny, and still this day I kind of struggle a little bit with English, but I'm never afraid to talk English again because of those experiences. Um, yeah, it's a funny little story time. It's a funny little story time with two stories, and it's GeneralJokerr over and out. Please like and subscribe for more content, and please hit the like button if you enjoy story content.